So we can get like really caught up in the SUV life, okay? It seems like every single car we review at the moment is an SUV or a compact SUV or some sort. And so sometimes you forget about the very humble and very lovely hatchback and or sedans. Now, take this humble, or once humble, let's say that, Audi A3 sedan, which is still a very important car for Audi. And in fact, continues to sort of sell at like a stable rate. Do you know, it's probably something we just don't give much thought to because there's such an SUV life at the moment. But I'm thrilled to be in the facelifted Audi A3 sedan. I'm in the S-Line model. And look, they didn't have to do much to it in order for it to look good, because it looked good already. But I think that Audi has done enough to really keep it looking very fresh and very modern. So that front grille is wider and flatter, the lights are sleeker and slimmer, the rear bumper and diffuser's been slightly tweaked, but overall it still looks so good. And then when you come into the interior, they've done enough here as well just to level it up a little bit. So gone are the hard plastics, and in its place are a little bit more of the soft touch materials and different sorts of textures and feels and looks, which looks and feels very premium. And I think one must consider, like, back in the day, when this sort of changed the game, I think, for premium hatchbacks and sedans and etc. You know, if you had a Golf, the next more mature step was into something like an A3. This was the entry into Audi because there was no A1 back at the time. And if you were driving this, if you were driving an A3, you'd made it. You now were the executive of that company. You know, you were moving up in the world. And I still think that this has an air of success to it and about it for anybody driving it. It's certainly now at the price, because unfortunately, many will say that the price is this car's downfall. Are they wrong? Well, let's see. Do I even have to go into the infotainment system and its workings? Because I think if you know Audi, you know that it's almost flawless. It's one of the best in the business, if not the best. Everything pairs seamlessly, everything works really well, everything is responsive. I think I've been in other cars long enough now to know when something just works really well and when something else is maybe potentially a bit gimmicky. This is in no way gimmicky for me. Now, it retains its 1.4 litre four-cylinder powertrain. You get 110 kilowatts of power and 250 newton meters of torque, and it's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. By the way, this gear lever button nudgy thing, I love, I always do. But back to this powertrain and this transmission, it is so refined and so lovely and so Audi. It is a pleasure to drive this car. Yes, it's not like performance on wheels. You're not in like an RS3 or RS4 or anything like that, but you're not supposed to be. It is just a beautifully comfortable, refined and mature drive. And even if there is ever so slightly turbo lag and the stop-start you could do without, honestly, it takes me back to those days when driving was just for pure enjoyment and so simple. That's what Audi does so well. The fuel consumption is then also quite low with this engine, so it's claimed at about 5.8 litres per 100 Ks. I've been seeing readings of about 7 litres per 100 Ks, which is not great, but it's not terrible. Do you know what I mean? It's still, you could probably get it lower. I drive like a lunatic. Now, when it comes to space and versatility, I think this is something we forget about a sedan, is that it is actually very practical. So this boot is 425 liters. It is on par with like the BMW 1 Series, etc. There's a 60-40 split rear bench, and the boot is quite wide, so it does make for loading things a little bit easier. The middle seat, a little bit of a squish, but where is it not, to be fair? And I don't know if you're going to have 3 people in the back here or 3 adults, probably not. Headroom is fine, legroom is fine, but you're either going to have maybe young adults or kids in here, or maybe not going for a long drive with 4 6-foot adults in the car. Or 5, for that matter. Oh, that person in the middle seat would hate it. Okay, so now the sticking point, the problem for everybody, and for me included, is the price, right? So this range kicks off at 808,000. This S-Line that I'm driving comes in at about 823,000 Rand, but with the optional extras that have been added to this car, it's sitting at 965,000 Rand. 965,000 Rand! But, like, mind blown. I know friends of mine and colleagues and a lot of people I chat to who are Audi fans, who drive an Audi, stay with an Audi. Sometimes price doesn't come into it because you're not going to go looking elsewhere for something that doesn't feel like home to you, which is what this car sort of does. Another smart thing that Audi's done is, because it knows that the premium market is in its toughest time ever, is that they've got their Audi Assured, their GFV, which is guaranteed future value. And that means that either you, at the end of the term of your payment with this car, you either give it back, you trade it in, or you retain it. And so it offers you sort of financial flexibility that maybe another brand hasn't offered you. And again, it means that you get into the car that you want to be in. And that's what I say. Friends of mine who've got an Audi, they've got one who's in an Audi A1, one who's in an Audi A4, and they never change. They never want to. I asked them the other day, would you take one of these for the price? They're like, we'll stick with Audi. We don't want to go anywhere else. So we're prepared to pay the premium because we know what we're getting. Each other fairy tales and stare at the beautiful women. She's looking at you. Oh no, 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 she's looking at me. Bright lights. Can you tell I'm on a short road?